What are the core orientations? What are the core frameworks, mental frameworks that will equip people so that when the tools do arrive at their door in a form that they can use, so that they do have this intentional and empowered relationship to the technology, and so that it serves their ends instead of capturing them in a new way.
And those human skills will continue to be what amplifies the use of AI and where humans continue to go, because those are particularly yours. You come with a set of skills that, even though with the help of AI, those are still who define you, right? And your capabilities. What AI I'm seeing it's helping with, it's kind of bridging the gaps in some areas where the lack of skills are present and helping you to get there.
I do think it's important for us to double click, as some friends of mine would say, on what we mean by human skills. Because I think often when we talk about human skills, we are using human skills as a euphemism for interpersonal skills. We're talking about our ability to relate to other people. But
Right.
actually, our human skills are broader and more eclectic than that. And so, a lot of my work now is about how do you help people look at their full picture of their human skills, map where their talents are across multiple domains, and then think about where they're furthest from the middle of the curve. Because, AI is getting better and better at a lot of the stuff we think of as human. For example, putting a kind interpersonal gloss on our emails, but it's doing it always in the middle of the curve. So how do each of us find the places where we're not in the middle of the curve, where we're a little special, where we're a little off center, where we can't be replaced by a machine, because that is going to be where we have something to contribute.
That's interesting. That's an interesting work to go through, and I'm sure we all can learn a little bit more about ourselves when we start thinking about where we are and what we need to do to get there. Because at the end of the day, we also need to try to understand us, so we can better connect with each other in a way, and AI can help with that in a way.
It can. I mean, I will say a big part of my own work, and this is the focus of my next book, is trying to approach AI with insights from the universe of neurodiversity, because, it's not just autistic and ADHD people who can benefit from that work. We all have places where the work environment doesn't fit our brains. And when you understand those points of friction, and when you take a look at your capacities through that lens, it turns out that actually we've got decades now of research on thinking differences, sensory differences, communications differences that allow us to recognize our unique capacities. We just haven't thought to apply those insights to people who aren't neurodivergent. And once we do, then it gives us a whole framework we can use to inform how we approach AI and how we work with other humans.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Alexandra. And I want to pick up in a part of a conversation that we just had, where we'd say it's that type of never say never in a way when I ask about what is it that we don't want to outsource, and especially when it relates to creativity. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how we can continue to leverage AI to support our own creativity, but without replacing, you know, the creative human. Because, from my point of view and my personal use, the more we use it and the more we leverage, the more we feel excited and motivated to continue to use and to continue to discover even more things about
Mhm.
us and about what we want to create. But in this process, we continue to leverage the tool and the technology more and more. So in a place and in a time that we say never, and that we can continue to leverage the technology to amplify our creativity, how we can continue to do it without losing us in the middle, so we don't outsource completely what make us that creative human.
Yeah.